and welcome to my gastroparesis awareness video. So this is pretty much my journey so far. I am still new to this diagnosis, so I'm sure I'll have more stuff to add later on. But as far as right now, my symptoms started 2 years ago. I kept brushing it off as endometriosis or chronic pain that I had from fibromyalgia, and it very well could have been that. But October of last year, I kind of took a turn for the worst, and my nausea got really, really severe to the point where I was having trouble eating solid food, and I was taking Zofran, and that wasn't helping as much as it used to be. So I went ahead and I made a GI appointment with a GI doctor in my area, and I had my first appointment in November of last year, and it was at that time that he scheduled a endoscopy for December of last year. And when I had the endoscopy, we found that food was still left in my stomach from more than 12 hours ago. And he came and he basically said, "Oh, your stomach is lazy." And I had no idea. I'd never heard of the term gastroparesis. It kind of caught us off guard because we thought at the time it was something wrong with my esophagus or just like GI system in general. We really weren't sure what, but that came as a surprise. And I had I had a lazy stomach, as he put it, and mild gastritis. And the mild inflammation didn't really surprise me much, especially with my history of having endometriosis. So I had to go home and look up exactly what lazy stomach meant. And after I found out, I called him and I made a follow-up appointment. And at that follow-up appointment, he went ahead and he scheduled a 2-hour gastric emptying study. And that was my very first gastric emptying study that I've ever had done in my entire life. That one, I was laying in a machine for 2 hours and just continuously, I guess the scans were running. And at that time, it reconfirmed my diagnosis of gastroparesis. And whenever I went to call back the office to make another follow-up appointment, he said that he doesn't treat gastroparesis and that I had to make an appointment with a motility specialist. So, in the meantime, months are going by and my symptoms are getting much worse. By this time, my symptoms included nausea and vomiting, bloating, feeling full quickly, loss of appetite, weight loss, constipation, dehydration, and abdominal pain. So I went ahead and I searched the internet for a motility specialist in my area. The closest one I found is about 45 minutes away, not too bad. And I had my first appointment with him a few months ago. He also ordered a gastric emptying study, which I just had done a few days ago, and it reconfirmed the diagnosis of gastroparesis. So I had 3 different tests, I guess, confirming the diagnosis of gastroparesis, and he put me on a medication that I'm supposed to start tomorrow, actually. So we'll see where this takes us, and it's pretty interesting. This is one of the hardest diseases I think that I've had to put up with so far because my stomach can't tolerate solid food, and I'm vegetarian, and the vegetarian diet to me doesn't limit me too much because there's so many options out there now versus what there were 10 years ago. There's more variety of different things like dairy products and fake meats and so forth. But if you combine vegetarian with pureed diet, it makes going out with friends and eating at restaurants next to impossible. So yeah, I kind of stopped hanging out with friends as much, and just getting enough nutrition in me as I used to. I drink a lot of the Vega 1 shakes and stuff like that, but puree is really hard. But yeah, that's pretty much my story so far with what it's like to have gastroparesis. I notice I don't have as much energy anymore, and because of the dehydration and not being able to drink as much fluid, because I do get full quickly and then my stomach starts to hurt if I drink too much. It messes up with my POTS, because I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome as well, and I get more pre-syncope episodes and more headaches and just more like heart palpitations and stuff like that. So it's affecting all of my other conditions as well. And then whenever POTS acts up, of course Sjogren's is gonna act up and fibro is gonna act up, and it's just a mess. So hopefully we can get a good plan in place to get me to feel a little bit better. But if you have your gastroparesis or gastritis story, please write them below and share your story so that other people can see and be inspired by what you're going through. But that's all I have for now. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.